Hello everyone, in this video I want to show you what is the binary search algorithm in JavaScript and how we can implement this with just a few lines of code. If you didn't know, the binary search algorithm is an efficient way to find an element in the array by not looping through each one of them, but by halving the array and then look up if the number is in the first half of the second half, and then basically repeating the process each time to find our target element. So let's just head on to the VS Code and I will explain a bit more what it basically does. So the first main point of it is that the array has to be sorted. So we have to sort the array by saying like me, I just put the inside the function. I just say array that sort, and then for the A and B element, sorting it from the lowest one to the highest number in the array. So the second point is that we need to define the start index, which is basically this number 0, because we want to start from the very first item in the array, which is the index 0. And we also have to define the end index, which is the last element of the array. And we're just checking for the length of the array, and then we are subtracting it by 1, and so we get the last index of the array. We also have to define the middle index, which will live inside our loop, which I wrote here. And why we define the middle index inside our loop? Well, because we need to calculate the middle index each time after our start index or our end index will change. So that's why we need to. That's why our middle index depends on the start index and then end index, which will change each time. So the third main point is that if we have an array with the total number, which will be even number, let's say 10 elements, then our middle point, our middle index, will be something between 5 and 6. The number 5 and 6 of index 4 and 5. So we need to, by using math.floor, I just run the number to the lowest nearest number. Let's say we have 10 elements in an array, so our middle index will be basically 4, right? The first point is that the function, as I said, the function will divide the array, and then it will conquer, so it will remove the unnecessary part of the array, and then repeat the process until we find the number of an element that we are looking for. And as I said, the binary searching is more efficient, so it will take more CPU and less time than looping through each one of them. And it is not that hard really to understand how it works. So let's take a look at our code, and I will explain what it does. So I wrote an array of numbers, which is an unsorted array of numbers, and then inside our function we just take it to 2 parameters, which is an array which I put it here. So as we see, our number, our nums, see here, and our target, which I'm looking for a number 45 in this array. At the very beginning, I just sort the array, and this is our value. This is our array that is sorted, and then we can just start the process from this point. Here I define the start index, which is 0, and the end index. So inside our while loop, which will basically loop until the start index is bigger than end index. So it will run the whole time as long as the start index is less or equal to the end index, which will basically run the whole time until it finds the target element. And as I explained, the middle index lives inside our while loop, basically because we need to we need to refer to our start index and our end index, which will change each time. And the next point we are looking, if our middle index is equal to our target number, then we will return the middle index. So basically, if our number will be the first number, which will be our middle index, then we will get it at the first row, I would say. Then we are checking if the sorted array at our middle index is bigger than our target, which means that the first half of the array contains our number of elements that we are looking for. So after that we are redefining our end index, which will be our middle index, and we are subtracting one index, because if our middle index, let's say that this is our middle index, it is not our number that we are looking for, then we are just basically can skip that number, and we are then we can just basically skip this number, and we can start our end index from here, and our start index will stay unchanged. All right, and if our sorted array at our middle index, so let's say that our array at our middle index, which will be, for example, this one, if this number is less than our target, then basically our start index will be redefined to number 67, which will be the middle index plus 1. So excuse me, this will be our 45. All right, and this process will be repeating itself like each time until it finds the number, right? So for example, I just want to console log the value. So we are saying the value was found at index, and then we are running our function with the number array and the number 45, right? So let's check in our console log. Let's run node app.js, and we can see that the value was found at index number 9, right? And what if we take the highest number of the array? Let's call them. Let's run node app.js. Alright, this is not running. Node app.js. I'm not sure. Let's just change the math.floor.math.cell. It doesn't change anything. Alright, so the value was found at index 15. So our array have 16 elements, so the value was found at the index number 15. So I hope that this is more clean to you now, and if you have any questions you can just write it in the comment section and I will explain it, or I will answer your question. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next time.